does your portrait still look wrong, even when you follow the rules? Let me show you we're drawing a full face with Loomis. And by the end of this video, you'll never make these mistakes again. We always start with a circle, classic Loomis style. It represents the top of the skull, from the crown down to the upper jaw. Now chop off the side. Yep, just like slicing a pizza. That side plane starts roughly at the end of the eyebrow and makes the head look, well, actually 3D. Next up, the brow line. Slice straight across the circle, right through the middle. This line tells you where the eyes and eyebrows will live, like the house number for your face. And hey, notice how it cuts right through the smaller side circle? That's your cue to drop a vertical line inside that smaller circle. It'll help you place the ear later. Trust me, future you will thank you. Now, for the vertical line, the center of the face, but not the center of the circle. Since the head is turned, shift this line slightly toward the far side. It still defines the middle of the features, nose, lips, and chin, but now it curves with the head's angle. Let's mark 3 important lines now. The hairline, the nose, and the chin. The hairline starts at the top of the side circle. Then the nose line sits right at the bottom of that circle. And from there, we add the chin line, which is the same distance below the nose. These will help us build a balanced face. Now let's finish the jawline. From both sides of the side circle, draw 2 soft diagonal lines going down. They meet at the chin line. Congratulations, you've just built the structure of the jaw. And for a quick finish, drop 2 simple lines for the neck, one from each side. Keep them light, no need to hulk out the neck. Now let's mark the position of the ear, right inside that side circle we drew earlier. Remember the vertical line we added? That's your guide. The ear fits right around it. Before we dive into the features, I like to block things out. Let's place 2 big circles where the eyes will go. One on each side of the center line, then add a small circle for the nose sitting right on the nose line, and 2 dots at the corners of the mouth, just floating there for now. Think of this like sketching a battle plan before the real action starts. All right, let's build the nose, and we're doing it like sculptors. Start with a small circle for the tip. This isn't just decoration, it anchors the whole nose. Then, carve out the nostrils, 2 soft curves, one on each side. Now, just connect the pieces, no need to be perfect. Look at that, it's already looking 3D. Add some light shadows underneath to bring it forward. And hey, if it starts looking like a cartoon nose, chill. That's part of the process. All right, now that the nose is done, it's time to tackle the mouth, one of the trickiest and most expressive parts of the face. Let's break it down, nice and easy. First, I sketch the top lip. Just a light curve to get the shape going. Then, I mark the center line between the lips. That little valley in the middle gives it life. I now define the bottom edge of the upper lip and start giving it some volume. Time to add the lower lip, rounder and fuller, like a soft hill. Lastly, that subtle shadow underneath. And boom, the mouth is already saying something, even if she's still quiet. Now that we've finished the mouth, let's move on to some light shading. We'll add soft tones on the cheek to show the volume of the face, especially near the side plane. Then we'll suggest the neck muscles with a few elegant strokes. Nothing too detailed, just enough to give structure. And finally, we add a light gradient under the jaw to separate the head from the neck. It's like makeup, but for your sketch. All right, let's draw that brow and make it speak. Start from the inner side. Keep it thick and dark at first. Then, as you move outward, ease the pressure. Let it fade out gently. Use the tip of your pencil and think of it like you're flicking little hairs. Not lines, flicks. Clean, short, and quick. Right brow is subtle in this angle. It's almost hiding. But the left one, that's where you show off. And about the clothes. I'm just keeping them simple here. This lesson is all about the face. But hey, if you'd like a full tutorial on drawing clothes and folds, drop a comment below and I got you covered. Now that we've completed the facial structure and the features, let's move on to the hair, one of the most visually interesting parts of this portrait. We'll start with the front section, the bangs. Notice how they fall straight down from the hairline, slightly curving to follow the shape of the forehead. Use long, controlled strokes, starting from the root and flicking out toward the ends. Keep your pencil pressure light at the tips to make them feel airy and natural. Remember, bangs aren't a block of hair. They're made up of soft, overlapping strands, so leave tiny gaps to let the skin show through. That's what creates a realistic effect. Moving to the upper part of the head, we have this beautiful braided crown. We start by outlining the overall shape of the braid. Don't jump into details yet. Think of it as a ribbon wrapping around the head. Once the shape is in place, begin breaking it down into the woven sections. Each part overlaps the next, so focus on direction and spacing. When you draw braids, a good tip is to exaggerate the curve slightly. This gives it that woven 3D feel. Also, try not to over-darken every part. Leave some light areas to show highlights, especially where the light hits the top of the head. Now to the side locks. They frame the face and help soften the edges of the portrait. Since we're working from a side angle, the left lock, from the viewer's perspective, appears shorter and tighter. The right side, however, falls more freely and catches more light. Vary your pencil pressure here. Start darker at the root and let it fade out. I use small flicks to mimic the natural texture of loose hair. Tip: use the edge of your pencil, not the tip, when filling in larger shadow areas. This keeps the strokes soft and prevents harsh lines. You can always come back and sharpen a few darker strands later for contrast. At this point, resist the urge to blend too early. Hair reads best when it's made of contrast. Light next to dark, thick next to thin. And don't forget, we're not drawing every strand. We're designing the flow. Focus on the rhythm. And finally, I want to remind you, the hair is an accessory in portrait drawing, not the main subject. Don't overwork it. Keep it confident, loose, and expressive. If you're interested in a full tutorial just about drawing hairstyles or braids in detail, let me know in the comments, and I'll make a separate video just for that. Now that we've finished the nose and outlined the basic facial structure, it's time to draw the eyes. The most important part of any portrait. Pay extra attention here because even a small mistake can ruin the whole expression. Start with the crease above the right eye, that curved line representing the eyelid fold. Keep your pencil pressure light here, almost like you're whispering with the pencil. Next, draw the upper eyelid of the right eye. This is where you define the shape and intensity of the gaze. Make the outer end of the line slightly thicker and sharper and let it taper toward the inner corner. Try to tilt the line upward just a bit. This adds a nice, lifted feel to the eye. Then move over to the left eye. Since the face is in a slight 3/4 view, this eye will appear more fully visible. Follow the same steps. Draw the crease first, then sketch the upper eyelid. You'll notice the curve here is longer and the distance between the eye and eyebrow is wider. Now back to the right eye. Draw the lower eyelid. This line should be very subtle. You don't want to outline it too harshly. Just a light curved stroke. Then add a bit of shadow right beneath it to suggest the form and give the eye some depth. After that, begin drawing the iris, the visible part of the eye. Don't draw a full circle. Remember, the upper and lower eyelids cover part of it. Sketch only the portion that's actually visible. Start shading the iris using a darker pencil like HB or 2B and increase the pressure a bit to make it pop. Draw the pupil, the darkest part in the center, and fill it in completely. This part needs to be deep and solid. And finally, don't forget the highlight. Leave a small white area in the iris to represent light reflection, or add it later with a white pencil. This detail brings life to the drawing. Pro tip: when drawing the eye, don't think of it as an eye. Instead, break it into simple shapes: a curved line above, a soft shadow below, a circle within a frame. That mindset helps you draw what you see, not what you think. Another tip: if the gaze looks off, try darkening the upper eyelid a bit more or adjusting the pupil position slightly. Small tweaks can completely fix the expression. And that wraps up our lesson for today. If you followed every step with me and applied what we practiced, congratulations! You've just made huge progress. This kind of focused practice is what really transforms your drawings. But if anything felt confusing, or if you're struggling with a specific part, don't keep it to yourself. Drop a comment below and I'll do my best to help you out. And hey, if you followed along and drew with me, I really want to see your work. Post your result in the channel community tab so I can check it out and give you some feedback. If this video helped you, make sure to like and share it with someone who's learning too. New lessons are coming soon, so stay tuned. Until then, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.